Hey everyone, I am back to have another fun chit chat about a few decks that I have recently acquired. This is not a review, it is not a walkthrough or first impressions. It is just me talking about decks, however much or little I want to talk about them. Let's begin with this deck right here, which is the Ethereal Visions Tarot Luna Edition. This is mass market. And okay, so I have been on the hunt for an Art Nouveau style deck for a few years now. My very first tarot deck ever was the Art Nouveau tarot, I think. It's the one by Lo Scarabeo. Anyway, in the end, I rehomed that deck. It did not resonate with me. I did not feel sentimental about it. And ever since, I have been searching for an Art Nouveau themed deck that would resonate more and that would kind of fill that gap in my tarot library. I have considered Tarot Muha, but there were a couple deal breaker cards in there. I did at one point purchase the Golden Art Nouveau, but then returned it because that wasn't doing it for me either. Now, the original Ethereal Visions, I also considered, but opted not to get. I think I wasn't sold on the color palette. And then the Luna edition, I don't think I knew there was one. Or if I did, I just kind of wrote it off without even knowing what it was about, thinking it was maybe the same thing as the original. So I believe I first saw this deck on Logan's channel, Lark and Legend, and he was showing it in one of his videos, and I instantly was enraptured. And I think it was he that also mentioned that this would be mass market. And so I did not pre-order. I decided to hold off and wait for several reasons. Main one being I wanted to see a full walkthrough to make sure that I could actually use this deck because it is US games. And if you have seen some of my other videos, you know that I am not a huge fan of the US games cardstock that they like to use, which is that kind of thick, stiffer cardstock that I have a hard time with. So I did watch a walkthrough, and I will actually link that in the description box below, but I saw that that person had no trouble with shuffling, and so I decided to take a chance, and I am so happy that I did. I think that this is the closest that I have ever come to really, finding an Art Nouveau style deck that resonates with me. I love this hollow. I know that the indie version, it has the hollow gilding. And do they have them on the backs too? I can't remember. I don't remember what the indie version looks like, and some people have kind of been disappointed in the fact that the mass market doesn't have hollow gilding. I am not disappointed at all. I overall love what US Games has done with this deck because not only have they printed this on much more flexible cardstock that I can actually riffle shuffle, also because they did not do the hollow edging, it made it much more easier for me to modify, because I did in fact slightly modify this deck. I gave it just a little bit of a trim on the bottoms because even though I could riffle shuffle, it was still just a tad too long, and so it made it difficult for me to really get my hands around. So I just decided to take a sliver off the bottoms and round the corners, all four corners, with a corner rounder so they looked even. And since then, it has been fabulous. So I also know that the for the indie edition, or prior to the indie edition, I guess, people wanted to see more diversity from the original and express that to the creator, and he took that into consideration. And so I do appreciate the effort for more inclusivity. And I also think, you know, it falls into a few of the common traps, if you will, of the decks that attempt to be inclusive. And on the whole, I still really enjoy this deck. I love the color palette. I love the purples, just the cooler color palette, which appeals to me much more than the warmer palette of the original, right? Isn't it more like browns and beiges and such? Anyway, so I am just over the moon with this right now. I am definitely in a honeymoon phase with this deck, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying myself. So I've been doing daily draws with this week, and it just makes me happy to be able to shuffle this thing, like riffle shuffle, and that US Games decided to go with this much better cardstock, in my opinion. And this also like scratches the itch of like a foil stamped deck. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but you know, with the Golden Art Nouveau, I think the large appeal of that was the kind of gold stamping or foiling. And because I don't have that in my collection either. I don't have any decks that do that. And I think this scratches that itch with this bling. So yeah, I am overall very pleased with this deck. I mean, you know, there's no such thing as a perfect deck, but in terms of my search for an Art Nouveau style deck, this really fits the bill for me. Second deck I'm going to talk about was a holiday gift from Matt. And this was one that I did put on my wish list. And some of you may be surprised, some of you maybe not, but this is actually an RWS deck. So I feel like it was Micah's channel that I saw this on. And I was just like, okay, you know, for this being Pixie's image, or Pixie's, you know, original art, I am really digging the colors. This is, I think, like a plastic. So anyway, it's on Etsy. I will leave the link, but because I can't remember the seller's name, but they have like a few different iterations of this deck. I think there's one that's all pink, and there's just different iterations you could choose from. But I think that this might get me to actually use, you know, a pixie deck, you know. I love the bright colors. I mean, the backs, like I'm not mad at them, you know, because hello, purple and pink, but I don't know, it's fine. So, but I really love the vibrant colors of this deck. So, and it shuffles really well, or well enough. I could riffle shuffle it. It is a bit of a chunky deck, but I feel like it's one that I could break in. But yeah, I used this for daily draws, I want to say towards at the end of December into January, I want to say. And I actually really liked it. So I feel like it is, it's going to help me to, I guess, bond with, Pixie's art, or, at least work with it a little more. And so I do have the Centennial, which I never really used for readings. Up until this point, it was my kind of most preferred out of all of the kind of Pixie iterations in terms of color, and I love the pale blue backs on them. But now that I have this, I'm wondering if I need the Centennial, because this is just, I really do prefer this. Let's see, shuffle. See, like, look at that. I mean, the fact that I can do that and it's this thick. Ah, my goodness, sheer delight. Sheer delight, I tell you. Finally, we have this deck, which I just received a few days ago from a lovely friend. Thank you again. You know who you are. They were rehoming some decks, and they kindly sent this my way because I wanted to give it another try. This is a deck that I did have on loan a few years ago, and it just wasn't doing it for me, which was kind of crushing because I had such high hopes and expectations, which is probably why I was kind of let down, and maybe just wasn't my time. But I don't know, it just wasn't resonating in the way that I had hoped. So this is the Sasuraibito Tarot by Stasia Burrington, and this is an older edition. I know that her current edition is matte, and I don't mind the gloss. In general, I don't mind glossy decks at all. I think they're actually really pretty. It just makes filming and taking pictures a bit of a bitch. But other than that, I don't have a problem with it. And I think the matte has like larger borders, right? Which I don't understand why that choice was made. But in any case, I think this is the 6th edition. And I'm excited to give this deck another try. It's a deck where some of the cards just really, really resonate. I want to say that this has one of my favorite 8 of Cups, which is a card that means a lot to me right here. This is just, it is so impactful, And I like her art. I do. I have her cat playing deck. I bought it when it was indie, and now it's mass market, and I think it's under a different name. I think when it was indie, it was like Magical Neko playing cards or something to that effect. Anyway, so I have that and enjoy that. So yeah. Oh, and this 6 of Swords, Chef's Kiss. Those are the 3 current. Oh, wait a minute. No. I have another one. I lied. Hold on. Okay, so this deck I have had on my wish list since last year, but I opted to wait to purchase it because of my 2022 guidelines for deck purchases, which is that I could purchase as many decks as I wanted in 2022, but could not use any of them. I could use only the ones I currently had in my library as of the end of 2021. I held off on this, knowing that per my guidelines, I would not be able to use it until 2023. I am just so excited about it. This is the Hellenic Oracle by our very own Theia over at Garden Goddess Tarot. And okay, so I have been on this like Greek mythology kick. I used to really love Greek mythology ever since, middle school when we first started learning about the Greek, Roman pantheon and learning the different myths. And, that stretched into college where I took a Greek mythology course and, reread the Odyssey and the Iliad and the Metamorphosis of Ovid and just, oh my goodness, so good. So good. But that was many moons ago. And since then, my older brain wouldn't be able to tell you about as many of these figures as I would have once been able to. So it has been a goal of mine since last year that this year I would revisit my kind of love for Greek mythology and do like a study, and that this would be a great deck to help me with that. So I'm just really excited to do that. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to feel very nostalgic. And this deck introduces many a character and places that I don't believe I'm familiar with. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to diving into this deck. I'm not an art buff by any means. I am not super cultured in art and art history, but I will say this is the type of historical art that appeals to me most, which I believe is this Pre-Raphaelite? Oh God, I know. Yeah, I'm that clueless. But in any case, this is the art style that appeals to me. I think this deck uses a few John Waterhouse pieces, which he is one of my favorite artists. So that further sealed the deal. And yeah, I'm really happy. Oh, Pegasus. I'm really happy to have this. And I'm actually thinking of maybe doing a series where I just, kind of talk about a few of the cards, a few of the characters or, the places and just my reaction to them and what I've learned, just for fun. So that might be something it's something I want to do. As a way to just, further explore. So, okay, and also, so this doesn't include the expansion pack, but this is what, like almost 100 cards, if not over. I can't remember the exact, but it's like around 100 cards. And this is a make playing cards deck. And even with that, even being as many cards as it is, oh my goodness, my peeps, I just cannot, it's... Okay, so that wasn't as good as I can do, but you get my drift. I can riffle shuffle this and bridge this. It's just, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy. So for those of you who might be worried that it's too thick, it is not. Oh, I'm so excited. Love these backs. Okay, anyway. That is it. Those are the decks that have recently come in to my collection, and they all serve a purpose, and I'm just really happy to start off the year like this. I would love to hear if you have any of these decks and what are your thoughts. So thank you for joining me, and until the next time, much love and take care.